somebody must have a finger on the fade button.
All right, now faded. It's almost over. There.
Not what I want to hear in my life. I think you know why we're all here today. It's remarkable. The poet Rilke said, "For one human being to love another human being, that is perhaps the most difficult task that has been entrusted to us. The ultimate task, the final test and proof, the work for which all other work is merely preparation." Duke and Judy, you two are experts at this, as you've done all the preparation, as Rilke said. In fact, this is the 4th time you're getting married to each other. I was intrigued by that, and I was intrigued by what other things come in fours. So, as you may know, 4 instrumentalists are in a classical string quartet, 2 violinists, a violist, and a cellist. In addition, there are 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall, 4 cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, 4 Greek classical elements, air, earth, fire, and water, 4 Ninja Turtles, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo, 4 names, nations in the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and 4 cardinal virtues: justice, prudence, fortitude, and temperance. There are 4 members of the Beatles: John, Paul, George, and Ringo. There are 4 limbs in the human body. Major sporting events such as the Olympics, the FIFA World Cup, and the Rugby World Cup occur every 4 years. So in and of itself, this being the 4th time that you're doing this, maybe it fits into the scheme of life. Maybe the 4 is a good thing. You had 4 children: Stacy, Duke, Paul, and Karen. Unfortunately, Duke left us in his 44th year. 2 more 4s. I'm mindful that you come together today, not as 2 20-year-olds with stars in your eyes and big plans for the future, but you do come together today to celebrate what you had all of these years. The children, the love, the joys, and the sorrows. Judy, you told me that you were always in love. And Duke, you told me that you thank God for what you both had together. Louis de Bernières wrote in Captain Corelli's Mandolin, "Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like volcanoes and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have so entwined together that it's inconceivable that you should ever part, because this is what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It is not excitement. It's not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. This is just being in love, and that can fool us. Love itself is what's left over when being in love has burned away, and this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Those that truly love have roots that grow toward each other, underground, and when all the pretty blossoms have fallen from their branches, they finally find out that there were 1 tree and not 2. Judy and Duke, I've married many couples in my time, hundreds of couples. Often I read from passages from The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. It's kind of a way to set a tone, the parameters of marriage. But you two are the first and only couple who actually have lived the relationship that Gibran talks about. So let me share with you what he said that actually talks about your life. You were born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter your days. Aye, you shall be together even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone, although they quiver to the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. and stand together, but not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. Duke, I've known you since you moved onto this campus in 2013. I've enjoyed your writings from the Great Quill Society. You know I'm a big fan of yours. And I've always adored that boyish smile that you have. As you know, I used to see you tooling around the campus in your electric scooter, looking for the whole world like a human version of Where's Waldo. Just flying around and smiling. And Judy, you're a new friend to me, but anyone who loves Duke as you do is surely a friend forever. The irony is not wasted that in March, our palliative care team visited you in rehab, and it became pretty clear that you were very ill, gravely ill. And we did everything we could to get you back to MPTF for the reason to die. That's what you wanted to do, come here to die. You wanted to die here with us on this campus. And 4 months later, we welcomed the very sick Duke Anderson to the Mary Pickford House for his last days. And here you are. 4 months later, getting married again, full of life and smiles and the joy which makes you just perfectly you. I'm honored that the two of you asked me to be part of this day. You have rings to exchange with each other. I was going to ask you to hold hands, but you're already doing that. So Duke, let me ask you a question. Do you, Richard Duke Anderson, freely take Judy Adams to be your wife, and in so doing, celebrate all that you had and all that you created together? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Please give her a sign of your love. Do you, Judy Adams, freely take Richard Duke Anderson to be your husband, and in so doing, celebrate all that you had and all that you created together? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Let him have a ring. As you have called me to be present at this time for this purpose, and have called these witnesses to be present at this time for this purpose, I pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Richard Duke Anderson. I ask you to please give a sign of love to each other, which means you may kiss your bride.
Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I present Mr. and Mrs. Duke Anderson.
Yay!
And the couple invites you to join them at the pagoda to have some refreshments in honor of their joining. And thank you for coming.
Woohoo!